Hello, friends. Welcome to another edition of Home Hacks. This is volume 3. Today we're going to be talking about how to break out of your tight little box. Branching out. That's something I think that a lot of people have some difficulty with, right? We're stuck in the same old rut, culinarily speaking, always doing the same thing over and over again. So today we just want to take a couple minutes to go over some ideas on how you can spring yourself out of this little prison, right? So, we've got a couple different areas of focus here we're going to go into. Um, the first one, the first thing I'd say about this subject overall is fear is the killer here. The most important thing, I guess, in life in general, like we're trying to give you life philosophy here as well as culinary philosophy. Fear is the killer, right? The worst thing you can be is afraid. When you shed fear in life in general, and definitely culinarily speaking, you will reap rewards. That's the most important thing. Most important thing. Don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid. And if you can stick to that, then you can probably make your own video about this because you won't need my help. Um, but I am making a video, so let's continue to discuss it a little bit, shall we? So first thing I would say is, you know, practically speaking, is baby steps. Let's, as they say in Coming to America, Eddie Murphy says, "One cannot fly into flying." Right? And that is not mine. That is Nietzsche's. But it's very, very important. I mean, you don't want to go from not eating spicy food at all to trying to slap a couple habanero peppers down your throat. It's not going to work. You're not going to have a good experience, and chances are you're not going to want to do it again, right? So if you're the type of person who eats like boxed mac and cheese and things like that every day, don't order the monkey brain stew. It's not going to work for you. Um, a better approach would be, say, for example, you like pizza. Everybody likes pizza, right? So if you normally get pepperoni, this time get something else. Get mushrooms and peppers, or prosciutto or something like that. Maybe order your pizza from a different pizza place with a different kind of dough, different kind of crust, different kind of cheese, a different kind of sauce. And another important thing here is try it more than once. It's really easy to try something once and decide that you don't like it, but that's not really fair to the ingredient. It's not really being fair to you and your development either. So that's it. Try things several times. Also, like say for example, tacos. That's another good one, right? Everybody likes tacos. A lot of people just eat simple things like chicken tacos or beef tacos. Again, baby steps here would be, go from your chicken to maybe like chorizo, and then maybe after that al pastor, and then maybe the barbacoa after that. And then when you're used to eating things with a little bit different flavor profiles and different kinds of meat, then go for the sesos or the tripa, which is, for those of you folks who don't know what I'm talking about, chorizo would be your spicy Mexican style sausage. Al pastor is sort of a marinated pork that's along the same lines. And then barbacoa is like a slow cooked, well, it could be lamb, could be goat, but it's a flavor profile that Westerners might not be as familiar with. And then your sesos is literally brains, beef brains, and tripa is tripe. So it's baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Another thing I would highly recommend here is that if you want to develop culinarily in terms of things that you appreciate eating, it would behoove you, and not everybody can do this because of health restrictions, et cetera, et cetera, but incrementally increase your heat tolerance. Spicy food is delicious. Chili peppers are delicious. There are health benefits to them as well. So if you can, if you're able to, I would strongly suggest put a little couple drops of hot sauce or a little couple drops of chili powder or something like that into your food until you can, excuse the pun, stomach a little bit something stronger. And you will be happy that you did. Again, you don't have to go eating ghost peppers and rubbing them in your eyes and stuff, but you'll be happy that you did. A little bit of spice, very, very, very good thing for you, literally and figuratively. Um, Next, we'll discuss a little bit ethnic foods. Um, I would say that your plate is your passport. So eth- ethnic cuisine can be intimidating, but it's really one of the best ways to branch out if you're talking about development of your palate. Um, there's so many different spice combinations, ingredient combinations, flavor profiles that we wouldn't imagine in our normal American lives that are out there. And literally, it's waking up your palate, waking up your mind even to different things that are out there. And a lot of these do have corollaries to life in general. It's good to get out there and experience other cultures, to talk to people from other cultures, see what they're about, see what they have to offer. Um, it's only going to strengthen yourself and the way your mind works and that sort of thing. So um, I'd say the more you experiment food wise as well, and culture wise as well, but we'll try to keep it culinarily focused here. The more you experiment, the more sophisticated your palate is going to become. As you familiarize yourself with ingredient sets and flavor combinations, um, what's going to happen is you're going to find yourself enjoying things you never thought you would enjoy. And then when you do come across different, flavor profiles and different ingredients, you're not going to be afraid of them. You'll know what the flavors are. You know what to expect. You know what your experience is going to be, and you're going to enjoy dining and food in general. Um, the more diverse your palate is, and the more developed your palate is, and the way to do that is by eating things that are different. And a fun way to do it um, is delving into the cuisines of various cultures. It's a fun thing to do. It's exciting, um, and it can be a shared experience. Go with your friends and or your loved ones or your family or whomever. Try that place down the street that has that food that you have no idea what it is. You might just find that you quite like it. Um, and honestly, like the shared experience thing is even if you hated it, if you go to a place that's boy, it's just god awful. It was I couldn't even eat it because the textures and the flavors were crazy. You'll still be telling that story, years later, and it's a fun thing. Even if you didn't like it, it's still fun. Um, but at this point, again, I would say don't be timid. It's again, it's the fear thing. It's it's a good life lesson again, um, and it can lead you to some really amazing discoveries. Like don't be afraid of small little out of the way places. Don't be afraid of menus in foreign languages. And when you're in these places, ask for help, ask for recommendations, whether it be from diners that are next to you, adjacent diners, or the people who work in these places. I think you can find that this is a good way to make friends. And I think you'll also find that a lot of people, the proprietors of a lot of these establishments, appreciate your business and would love to talk about their food, would love to talk about their culture. Um, it's a great thing to do overall, and it'll make you happier. It'll make them happier. It's a good thing to do. Um, the next point I would say is this is more for home dining, but trying new things you can make a real event of. Food is a celebration of life, right? It's art. It's cultural and familial expression. It's meant to be shared. So get together, have a dinner party, have a function. Maybe a theme like sushi or tacos or what have you. Um, draw on the influences and traditions and diversity of your friends, your family, your coworkers. Get together and share and try different and new things. Um, I think when you have this sort of coming together, it's only beneficial for your taste buds and it's only beneficial for you as a person as well. So, um, celebrate it, make an event of it, right? Next, and something that can be I think very troublesome or problematic for a lot of people when they're really trying to get out of their comfort zone and branch out is grocery stores, farmers markets. I think there are so many choices it can be kind of daunting, right? Literally, some things you just don't know what the heck they are. Um, certain aisles you might avoid like the plague. Certain aisles you might not even know existed. But I would say purposely seek out that which is unfamiliar to you. if you literally don't know what an ingredient is and you've got a couple extra bucks to spare, just throw it in your basket. When you get home, you can Google it, and chances are Google will have a way for you to use it. I'm pretty sure, right? Google plug, give me money, Google. Sorry. Um, this in particular, I think, is germane when you're talking about things like spices and then like ethnic grocery stores. Um, Really, one of the things I love to do, and if you don't live in a place where this is available to you, then that sucks. But you can still order things online. But even small towns and small cities have ethnic grocery stores. It might be a Middle Eastern or Asian of some kind or a Latino grocery store. They're going to have spices, mixes, meats, cuts of meat, things like that you're not familiar with. Man, go talk to the people in those stores. Ask them about what's this? What's this? How do I use this? Do you have any recipes that use this? They would love to share that with you. And if they don't, go on to the next one, right? But chances are, and I've had a lot of experience with this in Chicago here, um, these people love to share their recipes. They love to share their traditions and culture with other people. That's one of the great things about food, right? It's how we come together as people. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But again, don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid to go into that store, even though it's got a different alphabet with letters that you can't even read. If you know it's a food store, if you know it's a spice store, go in there and check it out. Also, online is a great resource for that. All sorts of spices and things like that are available to you that you might not have that known existed. Right. Um, Next, and it's sort of a corollary to that. Um, there's so many resources available, um, so use them. Online is great um, for a couple reasons. One is that literally everything that you could possibly want is online somewhere. No matter what it is that you're searching, no matter how obscure or esoteric you might think it is, chances are there's a recipe for it, and probably a darn good recipe somewhere online. So use it. It's fun. It's a good way to pass your time. Think about a thing that you want to make, even if it's just an ingredient like pork. What am I going to make with pork? And Google different pork recipes. Um, Also, cookbooks. Hoard them. That's all I'll say. Buy cookbooks. Use them. They are great. It's a great reference. And also, if your family has any traditional recipes, write them down. Make a cookbook of them. But cookbooks are great. There's no substitute for cookbooks because usually by the time someone has actually taken the effort to make a cookbook, they've got their recipes down pat, which is not necessarily the case online. As many of you probably know, you should approach online recipes with a little bit of caution. Definitely use them, but understand that it's just submitted from somebody somewhere, right? So, I mean, I could literally submit a recipe on anything I wanted to. Maybe they had good success with it, maybe they didn't. But keep in mind that depending on where you get your ingredients, what the recipe is, even what elevation you're at, or how what the humidity level is, the way your recipe comes out might not be the same as it came out for the people who made the recipe. Also, the person who posted that recipe might not be that great of a cook. Think about that. Which is why I would recommend definitely using online resources, but find credible sources. Find ones that you've had success with, and use those the most. Right. Um, Try with these things if you've got a good source. Maybe I don't know, try a new recipe every week or every month, depending on how much free time you've got in your hands. Um, Vary the types of recipes that you make, and then engage in trial and error to make them great, to make them really good, and then feed them to yourself, feed them to somebody else, and see how it goes. Um, and every once in a while, sub an ingredient for another ingredient. If it's got garlic, maybe use ginger instead, or something crazy like that. Don't be afraid to branch out. Again, fear. Do not be afraid, because that's what's going to give you the best rewards when you're cooking and eating, right? Um, Along the same lines, trying new things. If you have access to an urban area or a suburban, it doesn't matter, with lots of different restaurants, then that's great. One thing I like to do is is not repeat restaurants that I go to. Yeah, I like to try and go to a new restaurant every time. If I want to go out to eat, go to a new place, next place, next place, next place. It could be fine dining, it could be a tiny little taqueria or a hole in the wall, but try new places, try different types of cuisine, see how they do it, and then maybe try and replicate that at home. Um, and another thing too is don't, even if you have a favorite place that you like to dine, which a lot of us do, and that's fantastic. Try something else there next time. Don't always get the chicken parmesan sandwich. Next time get a other kind of sandwich. But try new and different things. You'll be happy that you did. As well with with branching out of our culinary comfort zones, an important thing, and I'll give you a little bit of an example on this one, is to retry things that you don't like or that you didn't like. Say, for example, when you were a kid, you didn't like onions. Um, as we grow, obviously, our taste buds change, and the way we view and the way we view food and the way we cook changes. Um, so, you know, revisit things from your youth or things from other periods of time that you don't think that you terribly were terribly fond of. You find that you might. There are some things, like, for example, to this day, I still can't do coffee because I hate the taste. It's too bitter. I'm not sure why, but I've tried. Um, but a good example is this, and it's a drink example, but I used to hate the taste of Belgian beer. I used to hate it. It was like this awful medicine-y thing. And, I told myself, I was like, look, I gotta branch out. So what I did was, I literally, I worked at a restaurant, obviously, at the time. So I had the bartender, pour me a little bit of Belgian beer, like every night for a shift, like literally like a couple sips, and I would sip it. And then I found after a couple weeks, I kind of got used to it. And after a couple of months, I really, really liked it. Now it's one of my favorite styles of beer, just because um, I took the time and the effort to change my change my perception of it. Right. So, and you can do that with any number of things, and spicy food is a good example of that as well. But, just try little tiny bits of things that you don't like and make yourself do it maybe a couple of few, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. um, and again, like dates is the same thing for me. I can't stand dates. I've tried a number of times, but generally speaking, it's only going to be to your benefit if you develop, if you grow, if you try new things, try different things, right, in life and in the kitchen. Um, Lastly, I would say don't be afraid to make mistakes, right? And this is more with cooking than with dining, but with dining too. Like I said before, it can be a really funny story if you have something that you eat that's just god awful and you hated it. You're like, yeah, remember that time we went to blah blah blah. It's a bonding experience, right? Positive things and negative things um, are both strong bonding experiences. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. And it's a cliche, but it's how we learn, especially with cooking. Don't be afraid to try this with that, even though you think it doesn't go together. Because at the worst, you eat it, it's terrible, throw it away. Don't do that again. But happy accidents. There have been so many throughout history that have created some things that we love, and now we just come to accept as rent. So don't be afraid. Try it. Throw this thing together with that other thing. It could be great. Could be awful. Could be great. But you know, purposely combine things that you don't think will go together. You know, you might be surprised at the results. They say one man's ceiling is another man's floor. Again, throwing out cliches all over the place, but again, it's very relevant here because it could be one culture. If you put X and Y together, it makes Z, and it's the most fantastic thing ever. But in our culture, if you put X and Y together, nobody would put X and Y together because they've never thought about it, right? So, you know, before I'm rambling a little bit, as I have a tendency to do, but most important thing in summation, don't be scared, right? Try new things, go to new places, make it fun, involve people, talk to people. Uh, it really mirrors the best interaction that we can have as a society with each other, as family, as friends, as coworkers. learn about me. I'll learn about you. I'll learn about the things you like. You learn about the things I like. And when you do that, I think the world is a better place. You know, you've got that commonality. You've got sharing your thoughts, your feelings, and emotions on a plate. It's a real easy way for people to come together, and you don't even have to talk about politics at all, unless you want to. Enough for now. Hope that's useful for you guys, and let me know. But we'll see you next time.